Hello, my name is Joni Leverton, and I will be discussing a woman from history that has influenced many people in the medical field and helped improve the lives of women in the 19th century and beyond. This is a picture of Florence Nightingale with some interesting data in the background that I will be discussing later in this presentation. She was born on May 12, 1820 in Italy and lived a long life in which she made many positive changes in the world. She died in London on August 13, 1910 at the age of 90. In fact, she did not have to worry about her finances as she came from a wealthy family, but chose to do more than marry a rich husband and become a housewife. Florence pondered the need for charity and desire to have a career in medicine, which was uncalled for women at the time. Florence started visiting hospitals in 1844. She would often travel, and in a visit to a convent in Alexandria, she noted how disciplined the nurses were. So much, in fact, that she thought that they made better nurses than the women in England. These sisters would become her first mentor in the healthcare world. Florence Nightingale made her first visit to the Institute of Protestant Deaconess at Kaiserwerth, Germany in 1850. The institute had been founded for the care of the destitute in 1833 and had grown into a training school for women teachers and nurses. It was here that she went to school for 4 months to train to become a sick nurse in 1851. This is believed to be a picture of her and of her class in 1851. In 1853, Florence Nightingale accepted her first administrative post when she became superintendent of the Hospital for Invalid Gentlewomen. In 1854, she went to Crimea to become the superintendent of the female nurses in the hospitals of the East, but unofficially she was known as the Lady-in-Chief or the Lady of the Lamp. Her friend Sidney Herbert was the Secretary of War and suggested that she go to Crimea. He promised that she would have plenary authority over all the nurses and the fullest assistance and cooperation from the medical staff. At first she did not receive cooperation from the medical staff. In fact, they gave her quite a hard time. A nurse's role at this time was viewed as something little more than a prostitute. Initially, Florence brought 38 nurses with her, and they went to work to treat the military patients, even though there were no vessels for water or utensils, soap, or even hospital clothes. The men were brought in covered in filth and typically left that way until they healed or most likely died. The death rate went from 42% to 2% from making simple sanitary changes. She established a kitchen and laundry to care for the patients. In 1855, the world was beginning to see nurses in a more positive light, mostly due to her work in Crimea, and a Nightingale Fund had been set up to fund a training school for nurses. By 1860, the Nightingale School and Home for Nurses was established at the St. Thomas Hospital in London. By 1857, she published a comprehensive report on the workings of the Army medical departments in Crimea. It was called the Notes on Matters Affecting the Health, Efficiency, and Hospital Administration of the British Army. In 1858, a commission was appointed to inquire into the sanitary conditions of the Army. It set a high value on her evidence. Nightingale was involved in establishing the East London Nursing Society in 1868, the Workhouse Nursing Association, and the National Society for Providing Trained Nurses for the Poor in 1874, and the Queen's Jubilee Nursing Institute in 1890. She received the Order of Merit in 1907, and in 1908 she was awarded the Freedom of the City of London. She had already received the German Order of the Cross of Merit and the French Gold Medal of Secours aux Blessés Militaires. On May 10, 1910, she was presented with the Badge of Honor of the Norwegian Red Cross Society. She possessed many qualities that an exceptional leader must possess. She was in touch with her values and beliefs. This is how she chose to live her life, even though many people and even society was not in support of it. She demonstrated a strong sense of emotional intelligence in her care of the wounded and implementation of changes during the Crimea War. She was able to see the future of healthcare and nursing clearly. With this vision, she anticipated and implemented many large-scale positive changes. She was optimistic about the future state of health care, and with much effort engaged others to join in her effort to improve the care for the soldiers. She was a direct and truthful person that was sincerely concerned with interest and dreams of others. She followed her promises with actions. Her work was conducted in an open and transparent fashion, so much that she published recordings of her work and data in the Crimean War. She maintained a calm and easy-to-approach bedside manner that gave her the name the Lady with the Lamp. She touched many lives with a warm and gracious listening ability. As a leader over many nurses, both experienced and students, she set clear expectations which were much higher than anyone expected from them before. She was able to face difficult topics and sources of conflict from many in her career field. She changed the way nurses felt and did their job through her ability to give feedback. She dedicated her life to mentoring other healthcare professionals. She supported staff in developing their skills and encouraging their career development. She developed a strong team to bring into Crimea to help with caring for the soldiers. Even as times were tough in Crimea, she was able to energize her team to continue working for the greater good. She did this by setting a good personal example, talking enthusiastically, and enjoyed rising to many challenges that faced her and her team. The Lady of the Lamp will be remembered for her contribution to the world. She improved the living conditions for patients, nurses, and women all over the world. The fact that she was able to achieve what she did as a woman when they were seen as little more than property makes her a leader that I most admire. Thank you for taking the time to watch my presentation. Please feel free to contact me at jonyrleverton@gmail.com or call me at 321-230-6348.